Hey, what's going on guys? It's Tom Mason here, and in today's Behind the Image, I want to talk to you all about bokeh. Now, bokeh is out of focus, mushy gorgeousness that we photographers love to use to make really clean, simple compositions. And just like in this puffin shot behind, you know, I've just simply blurred out everything bar my subject to make a really clean and simple composition. And today I just thought I'd talk through some of the techniques for getting the best out of your bokeh to make really simple compositions when you're out in the field. Now, it's going to be a combination of three things really: your focal length, your aperture, and your positioning. Now, firstly, let's talk focal length, and you've got to want a longer lens. 300mm, 500mm, 600mm, they're excellent for producing really gorgeous bokeh, because basically the longer the lens, the more it compresses your subject, and that means that it renders the foregrounds and backgrounds more out of focus when you're sharply focused on something in the frame. Now, secondly, it's all about your aperture. Now, the reason the wildlife photographers, sports photographers absolutely love those fast telephoto primes is that those fast apertures allow us to create really shallow depth of field and even more beautiful bokeh. 2.8 lenses just render so wonderfully the way the elements fall into the background. They make it really look very smooth, a way that just isn't comparable to slower aperture lenses like those 6.3 lenses, stuff like that. If you compare them and look at the bokeh, you'll just see miles of difference, and it's just so obvious to why all the pros always go for those high-end super telephotos with those fast apertures, because they just are the best at rendering those out of focus areas. Now, thirdly, it's about positioning. Positioning is key to getting good bokeh, because what you need to do is make sure that you're low enough and you're eye level with your subject, with a good distance between you and the subject, with an element in the way to create the foreground bokeh, and then with the distance between your subject and its background being distant enough that, again, you're not going to get any detail in there at the aperture you've selected. Now, here I'm using a aperture of f4. I'm using f4 because I'm really close to the subject. I'm about 2.5 meters away. If I was further away, I could use 2.8 and get kind of pretty much the same fill, but f4 meant that I got the full focus of the puffin's head, really sharp, loads of detail there, but then rendered the background and the foreground out of focus. My foreground here, the lovely blue, really light blue, is actually a mooring rope of one of the boats that drop you off in the Farne Island. I'd looked around all day for different kind of foregrounds and wanted something that was a little bit different, and this blue rope was just perfect. You know, bright blue, really nice, really kind of maritime feel to it, exactly what I was going for. So then I simply got down low using a beam bag, so I'm, you know, a couple of inches off the ground to give me that really clean shot, and then the background being well over 50 odd meters away meant that I was not going to get any detail in the background there to make this really clean and simple composition. So that's it. You know, if you want great bokeh, you're going to want to use a long telephoto, a wide aperture, and you're going to want to get nice and low with your subject to make sure that when your elements creep in, they're going to blur out beautifully to really frame your subject and just create those simple portraits. So I hope that was helpful. I hope those little couple of tips are going to, you know, really help you to make some really nice bokeh filled portraits. If you've got any thoughts, you know, on a shot like this, or got any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'll get back to you. And remember to like and subscribe for more wildlife photography videos, more behind the scenes, more behind the image coming to you soon. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.